Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Talk Automotive. This is episode 62, and in tonight's show we have the latest and breaking automotive news. Our guest is Riaan Fourie, Honda South Africa, and we review the Hyundai I20.
And then it's game time with Riaan. So I expect to lose this one quite badly. And then how things work, we're going to talk about how to run in your new car. And then we're going to have fun time with some memes of the week.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Remember, this is a live and interactive show, so if you have any comments, questions, please pop them into the comments below this video and be part of the show. This is why we do it live, all right? So let's get going. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Let's Talk Automotive. All right, guys, let's get going. Peter, so what you've been up to for the last 2 weeks? We had a break last week.
Yeah, so again, very, very busy. Just a little bit nervous about what's happening with the COVID figures.
Yep.
But I get a sense that life is going to carry on pretty much as normal. So
hopefully so. Yeah, so my arm's almost done.
Yeah. Well, just in time for you to come to the track with me then.
Yes. When are we doing that?
The
11th, 10th,
12th-ish of December.
Okay, so we're going to do some racing at Red Star. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, let's get going with this week's news. Okay, Peter, so this F1 season has just been insane, and I think it couldn't have been scripted better. Max, our boy, is up there, and with a proper chance to take the title this year. So in the news this week, we had Max Verstappen saying that Hamilton's title fight experience won't make a big difference as he shrugs off the pressure in Saudi Arabia. So a lot of pressure on this youngster. He hasn't been in this title contender position before, but he's handled everything so far in his stride. He's just, taking it up.
He's got an emotional intelligence, massive emotional intelligence. But remember, he's been in Formula One for 7 years now. Hey?
Yeah.
So he's not a rookie anymore. I think he knows what he has to do to get the job done. Hamilton knows what he has to do to get the job done.
Hamilton, like everybody knows, we're not huge fans, but we gave him props for last time.
Look, I respect Hamilton.
Yeah.
I mean, as a driver, I think he's unbelievable in a Mercedes-Benz. So, I mean, he knows what to do. He's a multiple world champion. It's going to be interesting, though, because ultimately, when the real pressure's on, I mean, if it goes down to the last race,
yes.
Even the best of the best have decided to do some weird things to win the title, so let's see what happens.
So there's a mathematical chance of Verstappen taking the title this weekend, you know that?
There is, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hamilton's just too good for that. So,
you never know. I think, if I was, in management, I would maybe talk to Mazepin. You know what I'm saying? Mazepin, having a little bit of a spin. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so unfortunately a little bit of bad news. Petrol price going up again in December, but this was a weird story, Peter. There was a mistake with the previous hike. Is that right?
Yeah, I think what they did was they made a mistake with the calculations in terms of the anticipated salary increases at the forecourts.
Okay.
And somehow the one hand didn't know what the other hand's doing. Surprise, surprise. There was about a 6 cent a litre mistake. Yeah. But given the quantity that the price went up by,
sure.
I mean, who's 6 cents between friends?
Okay, so this is the most expensive fuel's been ever, over 20 Rand a litre. It's insane. We've spoken about fuel prices on the show before. You still feel that we're sort of okay-ish where we are?
Yeah, from an international standpoint of view, we're still in good shape.
Okay.
The difference being, though, that everywhere in the world, the majority of the petrol price is made up in taxes of some form, or
Sure.
however they like to call it. But the difference is in overseas countries, they use that tax money.
Yeah. I hear you. Okay, before we move on to the next story, just with regards to the fuel price, do you think that the powers that be are using this price hike in the oil price because of all the EV talk, or not?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because, I mean...
Are they trying to capitalize now when they can?
Yeah, make hay while the sun shines,
Yeah.
because when EVs come... Although, let's face it, EVs will never be a dominant player, especially in this country. We just don't have the capacity for it. So, I don't know. I just think it's just one of those things that as society we need to maybe start standing up and saying, okay, let's question... all these levies that are incorporated into the tax, into the price of the fuel, and let's see how it's being put to use.
You know what we should do? We should get Mr.
Duvenage.
Yeah, we should get him on the show. And we should talk to him about this. I think that'll be cool. Why am I not seeing any comments? There's a lot of people watching. Guys, if you're watching the show, say how's it, hit the like button, hit the share button so that I can see that you're there. I don't know who I'm looking at here. Okay, so the last story is Range Rover, the new Range Rover. Pete.
Oh, man, I love.
So look at this thing. Isn't that beautiful?
No, it's absolutely stunning. Look, I mean, we could wax lyrical about all the luxury features that are incorporated into, I suppose, all of the Land Rovers for that matter.
Yeah.
But the one that stands out for me is the sound system. So it's a 1,600 watt Meridian signature sound system. So just put that into perspective. It's a 1.6 kilowatt sound system. But they put it to good use as well, because there's some very, very clever sound noise cancellation technology. So there's obviously sensors, especially around the wheels, that monitor the road noise that's coming through, and then there's noise cancellation that is played through the vehicle's 35 odd speakers. So
oh my goodness,
it cancels it out.
35 speakers.
35 speakers. So can you imagine if Land Rover put a fart mode on their car, like the Tesla?
It looks like what we've come to expect. It looks premium and quality. I'm looking forward to. Hopefully our friends at Land Rover Jaguar can help us to get one of those.
I mean, it's just sensational.
Look at the back of that. It's beautiful.
It's absolutely sensational. What I love is that it's distinctive Land Rover.
Yes.
But you cannot say that it's just an iteration of previous generations of Land Rovers. So somehow they've got that mix right.
Okay. All right, Marius Lange is watching with us. He says fuel prices get hiked every December. Yes, but now are we going to be allowed to travel so that they can actually, use the money? We've got Christelle Clark watching. She says, how's it, guys? And Rita Fourie, I think she's waiting for the guest of the week, I think. Rita, thank you very much for joining us.
That sounds like
I think, is that's it for the news, Pete?
Yep, that's it for the news. So
I think let's get on with the show, and let's get to our guest of the week. Awesome. Riaan Fourie, Honda South Africa, but not only motorcycles, Riaan, is that right?
Honda South Africa, no. Cars, bikes, generators,
Yes.
power products, parts.
Oh, can I give you my business card?
Yeah, especially generators. So yeah, definitely. No, it's all in one.
Listen, amazing. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the
100%.
show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Being an old Honda guy, I thought let's talk to Riaan, and especially the motorcycle side, which everybody knows we are very passionate about.
Absolutely.
Riaan, I think let's start off with a little bit of background with you. Obviously, I think this is your second time around with Honda, is that right?
My third time.
Your third
Your
time?
third time.
Okay, because you come back.
I come back. No, look, I've been very privileged. I've been in the motorcycle industry probably my whole life.
Yes.
And I'm turning 50 this year. I think I left bikes for about 5 years. I wanted to start my own business, and I went back into bikes. I actually started off Honda South Africa in 2002 when they moved from Daimler Chrysler and from Midmoko as Bina.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're fully owned by Honda Japan. And then, I spent quite a lot of years there in different departments. I was in the warranty department, technical department. I'm actually with the technical side of it.
Okay.
And then I went into sales by default and went like that. And then I had the opportunity to work for some other manufacturers. Gave me a lot of experience. And then I spent about 7 years in retail. So I was a DP in a shop, quite a successful shop in Fourways, and got to see the other side of business.
Yeah.
Very important that, by the way. I mean,
No, 100%. No, to
and
understand.
I have the same experience, and I tell you, I always tell everybody that I didn't realize how little I knew about the motor industry until I
got to retail, yes. Yeah. And how hard you have to work in retail. No, absolutely. So I think that was quite a lot of, for me, like you said, to understand what the market is about, understand customers, you know, things like that. And it was a great time. You know, you learn so much in that. So no. And then yes, from there, I got the opportunity to go back to Honda as head of motorcycles. So I head up the whole domestic sales of motorcycles in South Africa, and that gives us opportunity to really know what's going on the ground and make the changes that we need to do. So I've been back at Honda now for just over 3 years.
Well,
it's going strong.
It was a pretty shitty time to come back.
No, it was absolutely 2 years of that being in COVID.
Yes.
But we learned a lot in COVID. I think
Sure.
we learned a lot about our business and the network and things like that. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Awesome.
I mean,
Okay.
so what has COVID been? What has COVID meant for you guys, especially on the motorcycle side? I mean, car side, we quite close to the data, not so much on the bike side.
Look what happened. Obviously, when COVID happened, we closed down and we didn't expect any big bikes to sell because we're not going anywhere, we're not going to work. And the commercial side of it, so the small bikes, the delivery bikes, you know, the guys that deliver the food. So when we went down to that level that they could start delivering food, that morning we went to work, I had about 400 bikes in stock in my warehouse. That afternoon I had none.
What?
So from a commercial side, it's been good for us, you know, for all motorcycle industry to get that going and that type of thing. And the big bikes are starting to come back. Guys are riding big bikes again, and they've come out to woodwork, and now they ride every weekend because they want to ride, you know.
Yes.
So it's been really good for us. We call it the fun bikes, you know, the nice bikes, the Africa Twins, the CRFs, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And the Oaks are riding, you know.
I mean, we had a theory that post, you know, the hard lockdown that we had, where we all felt that the world was coming to an end, and we got out of that. And I think, you know, our theory was people started to buy bikes because they realized life's short.
Yeah, don't wait.
And COVID was really a good wake-up call for us. So
100%.
let's just get it done and buy the bikes.
And also, you've been stuck in the house for the week, so you need to go ride on the weekend. You know? So, no, we definitely saw that. We internationally, we didn't know what's going to happen. And we said, okay, so big bikes are not going to sell. And suddenly the demand was there. So there's been some challenges in that, but yeah, we can definitely see.
We've seen that with a lot of the manufacturers because some Oaks got the planning right and the forecasting right and the ordering right, and others didn't, you know. And
most of us don't get it right. Be gracious in saying we're doing, but we don't.
It must have been so difficult to actually try and forecast sales.
Look, you're forecasting a year ahead, you know. So month by month, there's a 4 to 6 month process from ordering now to getting it in South Africa.
Yeah.
For us, we were very lucky that from the production side, internationally, we weren't affected. But getting it, so the shipping containers, the shipping, that absolutely didn't help anybody, you know. So it's starting to come right now, but there was a delay, you know. Our big bikes we get from Japan, and those bikes suddenly took 3 months to get instead of a month, you know, things like that. And it's purely just shipping. There was other channels that was more important for the shipping, and they used the chips for that. So
amazing.
Are you guys being affected by the semiconductor shortage, or is that not?
We slowly now starting to get some of it, but not as bad as the auto side. So there is some of our bikes that are affected, but on very small scale. Okay. Not so much.
All right.
So.
We've got Fritz, our normal behind the scenes director of the show. He's in Georgia at the moment doing the 7. He says, how much older can Peter be than Riaan? So so he said he's turning 50.
I'm
He's
49.
73 now. So
So that's the answer.
Well, Fritz, if you don't know 73 minus 50, mate.
I've got a whole bunch of people. Rita obviously is watching. Craig is watching. Jock Tesla is watching. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Paul
Jock.
and Nadia, Murray. Hein is watching with us. Riaan is the right man for the job. He leads by example. Thank you very much, Hein, for joining us. Okay, so let's move on to the good stuff.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about some of the new models that we saw this year. So the first one here is the CRF 300. This has been on the market for probably about what?
About a year.
Is it really? It's been a year already.
Yeah.
And how's this taken to market?
Now you're going to see your comments starting. So, as you know, we had the CRF 250L and the 250 Rally, and it ticked over. You know, it was a good bike for the market. And we could only go on data. So we looked at what we sold. We said, okay, this is kind of our forecast. You know, we have to give it a year ahead of time.
Sure.
And we ordered our stock. And the bike arrived, and the first one arrived. And I took it out for a ride. And I'm maybe not the ideal candidate for a CRF 300. And it blew me away.
Yeah.
I actually came back and I said to my Japanese compadre, we have a problem. We don't have enough.
Yeah.
And it's been exactly that.
Really?
I at any time have about 50 to 60 on back order. The factory, I think worldwide, they didn't realize that this would happen. Even worldwide, I can see the demand for this bike outweighs totally what they can make. So they make them in Thailand. So they trying to catch up. It's a fantastic bike. You know, it's like if we talk Honda, if you take a CRF 250, you freshen it up a little bit, you put lights and indicators on it. This is what it is.
Okay, so we don't have pictures of it, but the rally version, is that also coming to South Africa or not?
It is available for South Africa, so we're planning to bring something next year.
Okay.
We initially didn't think the demand is there, and suddenly it happened. So the factory is now as set as we can, so there's a process to
That's
it, but
very
we're
good
planning,
news.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
So, wait, I've got a comment here from Paul Jacobs, obviously one of your
One of my
colleagues.
teammates.
And he says, hello, Riaan, are you ready for tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow?
Yeah, so we all got roped into by Pierre into participating in the last GXC race in Carnival tomorrow.
Yes.
So me and Pierre will be going on our Africa Twins. Jacques from Centurion will join us in his Africa Twin, and then Paul, my teammate, that works for me, he's on a 450. So we're doing a whole Honda team, you know. So so we're quite excited. We haven't done. I certainly haven't done enduro on Africa Twin. We've done a lot of other things. But tomorrow, me and Pierre will do it, and Jacques. So
it's gonna be.
So we're all excited about that.
So have you checked it with Pierre whether he's got enough tools and spares?
Yeah, we've had the talk already.
Yeah.
So no, listen, it's a Honda. So the only damage could be what we do it to it. Nothing else.
No, but I'm talking about tires and flat tires.
We'll be fine.
He's had a few experiences.
Listen, let's move on to the next model, the NC750.
NC750, yeah.
Okay, so this bike is a legendary bike. I was on the launch of this, and you must help me now. I can't remember the exact. We did an economy run on this bike, and you remember the final figures. It was in the 50 something.
Yeah, look, we got some other data, so it's between 45 and if you run it like they ran it as the economy run, yes, definitely. But look, except for that,
on average, it's about 30ish.
30, 35.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so that's insane. So if you can get a bike that will run at 30 to 35 kilometers per liter.
Yeah, so that's what 3 and a bit liters per 100 kilometers.
So it's got a 14. So put it in context. It's got a 14-liter tank. And they say we can do 400 k's.
Yes, it's insane.
And we thought it's in ideal condition. So when we did the launch, we did a part that's the economy run. We actually measured the fuel. We gave them about a 40k loop or whatever the case was to get an idea. And the bike surprised everybody. But also, except for that, historically the NC, so it was NC 700 and then NC 750, and it had a facelift in between. And when this bike arrived as well, it's sporty, it looks sportier, suspension is stiffer, you know, it's not just that bike to go to work and back on.
Yeah.
It's the bike that you can have and have fun around the mountain of it.
Trying to tap into the little bit of the touring market.
Yes, so overseas they call it a crossover.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to be seen as that, you know, it's that same type of thing. So you can do a bad road, not necessarily a dirt road, but you can. There's a lot of oaks that do the NC's dirt or a sand road, and definitely a bumpy road or our conditions road nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, it can handle that with ease. So definitely and the DCT, they've advanced the DCT more. There's more technology in the DCT. I can feel it from my Africa Twin to this DCT technology. I can feel the difference in it. So yes, they've definitely, although they called it a minor model change, there was a lot of changes in it. The dash changed. There's a lot of rider modes to it. So no, it was it's a good change, and it takes it to that next level.
Okay, lekker. Next one is the Honda Africa Twin. This is the 2022 model. And there's another picture of it a little bit more zoomed out, and it is just getting better and better.
Look, they haven't done too much on electronics and chassis. It's more aesthetic, so it's more stickers and that type of thing. You know, you don't have to change a good thing. And they're playing a lot on the 1100 part of it. I think that's what it is. So that comes out, especially in the normal tank, as we call it. The Adventure Sport looks very much the same. They changed it a little bit, very, very, very lightly. And on the normal tank, they've added the grab rails, which didn't come out standard with the 2021. So that's quite a good thing.
Which is something that the people missed,
Yes,
eh?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
definitely.
agree.
So they've added that in, and there's some small stuff, and then obviously software is updated and that type of thing. And it's
Can I bring my old bike back and do some software, or how does it work?
yeah, we can try.
Okay, lucky. All right. Next one is the Honda CBR 1000 RR, and you said this is the 50th.
So this
year.
is the 50th anniversary model. This will be available from next year. And they actually played, this is the original colors that came out in the first 916. There you can see it.
Yeah.
So quite an interesting fact. The bike at the back was launched 50 years ago.
Yes.
One of the engineers that was involved in the original build, not the head engineer, he was one of the junior engineers.
Okay.
When it came to designing the design side of the 50th anniversary, they actually called him in. Okay. And he was in charge of the design side of it.
Sure.
So that's where the colors come from and the synergy between the
I
old
really
bike
like
and the new
that
bike. Yeah.
heritage vibe.
Yeah,
I really like it.
they very much of it. So there's not a lot of changes on the bike. There's mid-range changes. They changed a lot in the mid-range, which we felt maybe needed some work, and in software and stuff like that. So we're quite excited to get it. Yeah, we've had the current model on the dyno quite a couple of places. It's very, very strong. It's some of the guys.
You're actually taking the question out of my mouth. I was going to ask you if you've got any sort of horsepower figures on it.
We've added on a couple of dynos here, you know, and it's Joburg and it's new, so it's as strong as whatever else is on the market, and sometimes a lot stronger. Clinton had his bike as a race bike. I mean, on the straights, it absolutely just flies past the bikes, you know. So it is that strong. We
You
just
guys
haven't had a lot of time.
had a very successful year with King
With
Price
Clinton,
Extreme,
yeah.
eh?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's been very successful. We're hoping next year we can have a better season. Unfortunately,
Yes.
from the national side, they had to stop it, and they form part of the other series. But
Yeah.
yeah, from a Clinton and King Price point of view, definitely. It was a very good year.
Okay, so there's a lot of comments coming in. Heinz says Itchy Booch also sold her CRF 250L and bought the CRF 300. This after she tested a lot of different bikes. She says a lot for, well, that says a lot.
Yeah.
For
She
the
did a lot
CRF
of traveling in South Africa through the Kalahari.
Yeah, Paul said he chickened out of the big bike. Obviously, he's a bit scared of doing that. Jacques Tesla says the Riaan tomorrow is going to be fun to watch. He's talking about the Africa Twin best bike ever. All right, guys, let's
Thanks,
move
John.
on, because I actually invited Riaan on the show because I wanted to talk to somebody that's been on the Quest, and he's not only been on the Quest once, he's now done it twice.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah,
I got roped into it the first
No,
time.
it's
I didn't
one
know
of the
what
perks.
to
It's one of the
Rubber arm
perks.
of yours.
one of the perks.
10 days in Richterveld with no cell phone signal.
Yes,
It's
that
terrible.
sounds like
Honestly.
heaven. That
Yeah,
sounds like
my
heaven.
wife's still there. That's terrible.
Okay, so let's start talking about the
Yeah.
Quest, okay? We've got some pictures up here. A whole
is
bunch of guys get selected to go and attend the boot camp.
Yeah, so before that, there's a call to entry, as we call it. So it's open to anybody. So this year we changed it a little bit. We actually had pre-boot camp, just to try and get a better pool of guys. You know, the first time we see these guys is in series in the Western Cape. And unfortunately then, you only judge people on what you can see on paper. You know, you don't see that. So we successfully did a pre-boot camp in Joburg. We did one in Cape Town, one in Western Cape, one in Bloemfontein, and from there we got quite a nice pool of riders to attend boot camp. So then 30 people get selected, and they go down to series, and we spend 3 days, but mainly 2 days of them.
Okay.
That involves some riding. There's some knowledge questions. There's not only riding. There's how they interact with other people. You know, so there's quite a lot of photos that you know show what they did, and then from there we select 14 of the best of those, and then they get called up for the main event.
Okay, so part of this is that guys actually have to do a lot of work on the bikes as well. Install, for example, crash bars, and we've got some pictures of that.
So
the guys
so this specifically
tires
is how they change a tube,
Yeah.
you know, and how they work as a team. You know, I think everybody that rides adventure bike except for me can change a tube. I can't. But and it's part of it. But mainly is to see how you work with other people.
Yeah.
You know, so this is what it's about. Quest is not about the best rider. It's about how you interact with people, how you work as a team.
Sure.
What do you bring to the table, and then what you become. You know,
That's a very, very valid point that you bring up, because a lot of people don't understand, because at the end of this, and we'll get to that, the winners, the team that wins this actually gets their bikes.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's an amazing competition to enter, but how do the people actually look at that?
Yeah.
All those brand and they are brand new, out the box.
They were all brand new. We shipped them in the crate to Cape Town, and they then got them there, and then I think 14 of the 18 bikes, they fitted the crash bars too.
Yeah.
Again, it's part of it, so we grade them as how they work as a team, because it's quite difficult. It's crash bars, it's bash plate, it's upper bars, it's a lot of stuff to fit, and it's not in everybody's foresight to do something like that. So you see how they do it, and how they help other people. It's a lot of other stuff in it, not just riding. So for the first day, they didn't touch a bike. And also for this year, there's 18 bikes, so there's 14 contestants, there's 2 instructors, and then myself, and then a spare bike, which I don't know why, because nothing ever goes wrong again this year. But this year was different because we wanted to level the playing fields. This year we had a lot of good riders, and we said, okay, so we'll do it all on DCT.
Okay.
So for most of these riders, they've never experienced DCT.
Yes.
Okay.
So when they got there
I want to interrupt you quickly because not everybody understands what we're talking about.
sorry.
So what you're saying is in the previous, and I know this from history, in the previous Quest, you guys had a manual transmission and the DCT, which is the automatic version of the bike.
And then every day, there's 2 guys in a team. So one day you'll ride a manual, one day you'll ride a DCT.
Yeah.
It's just purely to see how you ride the different bikes in different conditions. This year we changed it up a bit. We said let's use DCTs for all of the contestants. And when we got there, the guys looked at it and they also didn't know what DCT was, dual clutch transmission. And we explained it to them, and we gave them the second morning when they could actually ride. We actually gave them a little bit of orientation how it works, because a lot of them didn't understand, and not having a clutch, they didn't understand.
Or a gear lever.
Or a gear lever, but the clutch is the main thing.
I mean, we see it even with the product training on cars. The different gearboxes that are out there require different driving styles and a different mindset, and some people just don't get it. So that must be an interesting dynamic.
For me, it's very interesting from a Honda point of view and a marketing point of view, is to see how people react to riding a DCT first.
Yeah.
It's like 10 years ago, a manual 4x4.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted automatic. Now you can't have a manual. It doesn't work. So we're seeing the same thing, a little bit slower take up, because we're the only guys that do a DCT, but we have DCT in our NC, we had it in some of our other models. So it's not new. We're probably in about the 6th or 7th generation of DCT. So it just evolves and evolves and evolves. But to see a person, and now over 10 days, to see them in different conditions, get off the bike and go, so what do you think about DCT? Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of comments came back and said, I wouldn't have made it up with a manual.
Exactly.
Things like that. So
a lot of the people don't understand how, and
they don't trust it.
Yeah, they don't trust it. But as soon as you get into a technical situation with a DCT and it helps you out.
It helps average rider to ride better.
Yes.
And it levels the playing field for a really good rider on a DCT to give that other rider, because it's still a competition.
Yeah.
2 Oaks win a motorbike, So at the end of the day, to level that field that you're riding against Oaks, that's really, really good.
Was Andrew De Bruyn your teammate? Or
Andrew?
Andrew De Bruyn.
Yeah. I was his teammate for one day. His teammate got hurt for a day, so I was his stand-in teammate.
Well, he says the DCT honestly blew my mind away in technical stuff on Quest. Okay, so let's move on. We've got some flippin' amazing pictures. Yaku, if you don't mind throwing up some pictures, and the guys will take us through that. I know very well, because just about 2 or 3 weeks before you guys were there, we were there doing some work for Foodpeg Diaries, and that happened to me about 50 times.
So look, we fitted decent tires, we fitted all the bars, So at the end of the day, you had the best bike to do this.
Yeah.
But I think that just the DCT, I look at that. So that was the first morning that they actually rode the DCTs.
Okay.
So Peter was one of the instructors. We actually had 3 instructors, not 2. Sorry. 3 instructors.
And you guys camp wild?
Yeah, no, there's
under the stars.
It's under the stars. Everybody gets you get access to a tent and a stretcher. Nobody used a tent. I mean, it's not necessary. So, and especially if you have conditions like us.
This is a very, very special place called the Groot Melkboom. We were also there. But you guys did the sissy thing and stayed up by the tree, and we went down another probably about 400 or 500
Well,
meters.
you can't really stay under the tree because there's worms in that tree. So. But yes, it's especially for me, staying where I'm and doing what I'm doing, to be there in that condition, under the stars, we're all the same. No matter if you're director of a company or wherever you are, you're there on a stretcher, you're there in your Africa Twin, in your shorts, playing sport.
And also having a little bit of fun. You guys kick it there in the sand.
You need to have a bit of fun. I mean, it can't just be all serious.
Now, I'm just having a look at these pictures, and this is really probably the most, I suppose, exposure that I've seen, especially from a visuals point of view, to the Quest. So it's local?
Yes.
Okay. Are you not surely going to start getting some serious international queries from international visitors to come and do this?
We have, and we've been talking to some other countries and things like that. So ideally, it's probably the way to go. At this point, we like keeping it local, like putting back into our own riders.
Sure.
For now, but I think there's definitely an opportunity at a point to start inviting some international guys here. We don't really want to leave South Africa. This is our country. I mean, we ride as places that most of the people who were on Quest never knew about it.
Exactly.
Or heard about it. Or Richtersveld, he'd never been there.
Here's a group photo of the guys, and just look at the landscape. And this is one thing that stayed and will for always stay with me. It was probably, it looked like a movie from Mars. Just look at that. It's
That's amazing. This is difficult to come back and explain to people what you've done.
This is a very special place, Riaan. If we can maybe talk about this quickly. This is in Afrikaans called the klipstapels or the stone, what a stone, it sounds like something.
But there's something special in the air there.
Yeah.
In the Richtersveld, I also got there last year, the first time, and I thought, no, this is a load of hippie stuff, And half an hour later, we were all crying, and there's something there. It's a very, very special place.
So have you got your little klipstapel there?
I've got two now.
Have you got two now? Okay.
So we've got two, but definitely it is a special place, and everybody needs to go there once in your life. And you need to spend. So we normally spend about half an hour there, if we can. This year we actually the finalists actually made quite a nice one staple, as we say. And it's quite a lot of meaning to everybody. It's quite a lot of meaning for me. They put a Honda logo in there, and they said Honda brought them there. It was something very special from there. We didn't ask them. We left them alone, and they did their own thing. We actually changed a puncher of one of the contestants while they were busy. But yes, it's a very special place. You have to see it.
Okay, you guys obviously bond, eh? You all get away and leave Quest as friends and mates, and we've all experienced this with adventure riding. Yeah. You get to a place where you meet people that you've never seen before. You spend 10 days or 11 days with them, and you leave there as friends. And look at that face. What was he thinking?
What did I get myself into?
All right.
Okay. So it was Murray Campbell over the weird hat. So, but that's the thing is everybody get there. So you meet the Oaks at boot camp, you don't. You're only there for 2 days.
Yeah.
And when you start, then also you get selected a teammate. You don't pick your own teammate. Yes. So you get a teammate that you probably don't know at all. And you need to bond with that guy. Yeah. Or girl. This year we unfortunately didn't have a lady in the finalists, but last year we had a lady. But you need to bond with that person, and you need to sleep with them, and you're doing things out of in your own stretcher,
sleep next to them,
but and you have to do everything together, and you get judged as a team. So everything you do, and the way you operate, and the way you react to everything as a team. So you're always wearing your armband, but you are referred to as team 1 or team 2 or team 6. So but you can see the bond flow, and as the days go past. So last year I was caught up, and you didn't see everything, and it was my first Quest, and so this year I had time, and I had time to look at it and see people change. And you could come there and try to portray something else, and you the best this and best that. After 5 days of riding, and we do we do nothing then about 200 k's a day. There's some days there's a marathon of almost 400 something k's. Wow. But it's in 50 degrees. Last year we were very lucky in the weather. Yes. Also with COVID, because we had to move it. This year we had the same thing. Yeah. So we ended up in Richtersveld in November again. This year it wasn't kind. Yeah. It was cold at night, it was warm in the day. You'll see the one photo I actually had sunburn on my hands, but I didn't have sunburn. It's just the temperature, And then the real person comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so all of this. And you said it was 10 days.
Yes.
Okay, ends up with these 2 lucky buggers.
Yes.
This is the team that won, and why don't you tell us a little bit more about them?
Again, this is Riaan and Neil. Riaan is on the left-hand side next to me, and Neil. I mean, from day one, this team just had this energy about themselves. They were joking, laughing, singing, and riding. They rode really well. But it wasn't just the riding; it was the whole attitude to everything, And fantastic. Look, all the contestants. It was a difficult year this year.
Yeah.
Like every year, because you get to know everybody a lot better.
Sure.
Yeah.
They bond better, But Riaan and Neil, they were absolutely fantastic. They
Awesome.
well-deserved winners. They did really well.
Okay. So we're not done with you yet, Riaan, but thank you very much
Thank you.
for
Thanks
coming
for
to
having
join
me.
us, but we'll get back to you just now. We have to move on, unfortunately, but like always, we can spend another hour on this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, on
is-
bikes,
this
we can speak an hour. Easily.
We'll have to book you for another
Yeah, we'll do that. But let's move on to this week's review. And this week we did a review on the Hyundai I20. So let's have a look at that. Hi guys, and welcome to another review with myself, Fourie Skulls, and Peter Viljoen. And this is the Hyundai.
The Hyundai, the
Hyundai.
Hyundai. How do you say it?
I heard it's Hyundai like Sunday. So,
Well, that makes sense. And that coming from Farn Diesel. Awesome.
so this is the new I20, Pete.
The fluid, the
Yeah.
1 litre GDI. What does GDI stand for?
I've got no idea.
Gasoline direct injection. So this is a direct injection engine, so latest spec. But what's cool is you can actually still get this as a 1.4 litre normally aspirated. So you got a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So turbo, I assume.
Turbo, yes.
1 litre turbo.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, my first impressions of this car is flipping amazing. It's a nice, edgy, funky looking car.
It is edgy, it is funky looking. It's obviously got the
this,
signature
I
grille.
like this black, the black on two-tone colors, and the black finishes everywhere. It's flipping edgy.
Very, very edgy. I love the look of it, yeah.
Yeah. Is there a lot to say about the design and the exterior of this car, Pete?
Well, I think so. I mean, if you have a look at it, again, what I look for in a car is it different looking compared to its competitors in its segment? And there's no doubt that this car stands out as being unique in its design. So I can't say this looks like anything else, so that I appreciate.
I do too. Okay, very nice alloy wheels. It's a 195/55/16, which is a common size tire, which, those odd sizes always get me. When you get an odd size tire and it's 3 times more expensive. There's a lot of thought gone to aerodynamics and obviously wind noise and that sort of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to be very interested to see, because these are quite big wing mirrors for a car this size, so let's see if that impacts on any wind noise.
Okay, let's walk around to the back. This I appreciate, this little black trim at the bottom with the I20 in there, that's very nice.
Even here on the lights, on the tail lights, you got the I20
Yeah, there's a
in the
lot
tail
of
light
small
itself.
little details which I appreciate. Okay, what do we expect first of all out of a boot this size?
Nothing much,
in a
because
car this size.
it's nothing much because it's quite small. It's a small car, so you got to look at what
First
they do.
impression is that that's actually very deep.
It is.
And is there a full-size spare wheel at the bottom there?
Let's have a look here. Yep, there's a full-size spare, so that's very decent actually.
Yeah, okay.
Nice cargo hooks over here where you can just hang your shopping bags.
Something that I do see that's missing here, Pete, is that there's no split on the back seat here. So if you fold this down, you're missing out. You don't have the option. So it's a full.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I've never folded my seats down in a split version. I've always folded them both down.
If you have an option, then at least you have an option. If you don't have the option, you don't have the option.
Well, if the option's more expensive, this makes more sense.
Okay, so you'd say that's just to save some money.
Absolutely. It's much cheaper to make a single bench that folds down.
All right. Listen, I like everything I see from the exterior. Look at the nice design here on the fuel cap even, how that ties into the light.
Yeah,
into
that's
that
very cool.
line.
Very
There's a lot of small little details that I appreciate.
Even the diffuser at the back.
Yeah.
We know it's not a real diffuser, but it looks the part, I've got to say.
Makes it nice and sporty, so I think this is going to appeal to the younger generation.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's do a little funny fit. Let's get that seat upright again and see what it's like to sit in the back. All right. There's a lot of space, Pete.
Okay, but hang on a second. There's a lot of space, but where's this front seat? So, I'm sitting in here, look at the space I've got.
Yeah. So, Pete, can I be very honest with you?
Sure.
I don't really like this leather seat.
But funny, that's because it's not real leather. This is
Really?
this is artificial leather. And one of the ways you can tell, which
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily encourage everybody to go do, but if you just scratch your nail,
Yeah.
leather will leave a mark, artificial won't.
All right. Ew, I don't know if I like that.
It's better than cloth seats, that's for sure. Cloth seats are dust magnet, dirt magnet.
Just so clean
from
wise,
keeping clean.
wise.
Spot
Okay. Okay, well, we'll give them that. If I talk about the funny fit, I'm actually very happy in the back of this car. It actually feels a lot bigger than what I thought it would be. There's a lot of small little things that I like. The interior lighting, because we drove this car at night, you know, there's a lot of hidden lights and put away, which actually makes it feel nice and sporty inside. I've got a USB port at the back here. I've got air vents at the back, which I like and appreciate, because nobody thinks about the passengers in cars anymore. So I like it.
Another thing there is there's a seatbelt dock over there,
Right.
on the side.
Which
So
will make it easier for you to get it out. Or
no,
the reason
so you
for
put
that?
the seatbelt in there before you fold the seats down, so it doesn't get trapped like it is over there.
Okay. Oh, that's
So put it in there.
So this will go in there.
That's it. And now when you put the seats down, when you
Okay.
fold them down and you fold the seats back up again, your seatbelt is still going to be there.
Okay, very clever. Okay, so let me come and get into the front seat. All right, Peter. The business end, where it all happens. You know what? I cannot be honest with you. I cannot actually wait.
Look at that.
Look at that. I cannot wait to drive this car. You know, I would love to have a little track day with something like this. It feels nice and sporty.
Well, Fritz was saying that. We were talking on our show last week with Vanna about the 24-hour race, and Fritz was saying this would be perfect for
Really?
a 24-hour because it's got such a sprightly little 1 litre.
Yeah.
But
This display in front of me is amazing.
yeah, very premium.
Yeah, everything about it except the seats.
That's okay. 8-inch. Infotainment system,
touchscreen, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, everything that a young person would need. Something that I see. This is a manual air conditioner, not your automatic climate control.
Yeah, I mean, again, if we're going to try and fit in expensive clusters in a car in this price segment with an 8-inch multimedia system, you might have to compromise a little bit on the aircon. But I mean, Fourie, how many people use the automatic aircon properly? Because most people get in, and the first thing they do is adjust the fan, which disables the automatic part of it.
And it's got everything on steering wheel control. I've got cruise control on this side, and voice control, and my telephone, and all the dials that I need for there. This is flipping well kitted, eh? Two USB sockets at the front, and a power socket there with a nice little cover. And this is a charging pod.
Yeah.
So, man, I like this. Nice. It's got the armrest and a little center glove box there, which is nice. I think I'm impressed, Pete.
No, it is. Listen, we were talking about the pricing on this at 333,500, I think it is.
338, wasn't it?
No, 333.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we were saying, but this is starting to creep into, sort of the small SUV type of pricing. In fact, it's more.
Yeah.
But the reality is that there's so much standard execution in this car for that price.
Yes.
It makes it worth it. It makes sense. So not everybody wants an SUV, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We reviewed, for example, if we had to compare this to the Nissan Magnite, which is in that segment.
Yes.
Even though it did have a lot of features, this is a lot better execution.
Yeah.
If we talk about equipment, safety, etc., etc. And I don't think a lot of young people would like to play in that SUV segment.
SUV is almost like a middle-aged, old toppy type of vehicle.
So
right?
I think there might be, even though I was worried about that, there might still be an audience for this car.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Okay, can we please go drive this?
For sure.
Let's go. Okay, Peter, seeing that I said that this was aimed at more the younger people, I thought who better than me to drive?
Well, I can think of a few. The one show has to use.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, again, that took a little bit longer than what we expected. So you can watch the full review on our YouTube channel and on Facebook, probably about on Monday. But we said that we weren't finished with Riaan because obviously This is Let's Talk Automotive, and we've got a guest, and we've got Peter, and that means that this is game time. Okay, so Riaan, I'm going to explain to you how this works. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to, and today we've gone a little bit out of sequence here, because normally what we do is we try and, sort of keep to our guests' sort of speciality, but we didn't go with bikes today, okay?
Oh, really?
Thank God.
So sorry about that, because we've had so many Honda stories already. But what we did is we went for 7 of the top 10 most iconic cars of the 90s. How's about that?
Yeah, that's in my age category. Yeah?
Well,
I don't think that's so fair. But anyway, let's go.
You're in your 50s then. Okay, so let's move on. So we're going to show you a partial picture of a car. If you recognize the car, just shout your name. I'll come to you, and you'll give me your answer. Best out of 7 wins. And you guys at home, I see there's a bunch of you watching with us online. You guys can also play along. So if you
Please be
recognize
kind to
the
me
car,
because I don't know my car so well.
if you recognize the car, you can also give your answer in the comments below the video. Okay, everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, here is number 1.
Peter.
Peter, you are either cheating or you're taking a chance.
That's easy. That's a Ferrari F40.
It's not the F40, it is a Ferrari though, so
Yeah, it's
you've
a
got
Ferrari.
half a point.
Half a point.
A50.
Yes, F50, so half a point to each of you.
I got it right. I can't believe that.
Okay, so half a point to each of you. Well done.
Okay.
Okay, so at least Peter's not winning.
And I'm not losing.
Fritz Liacher says Ferrari. Well done, Fritz, you got half a point. Thanks for watching all the way from, I think he's in George.
George, cold and wet.
No, what's it called now? Is it still called George?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it? What?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking
Well, it's,
about
under,
PE.
it's,
I'm
it's been
thinking
underwater
about
for a
PE.
while, but yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
PE.
PE.
It's called Atlantis.
All right, everybody ready? Here comes the second one. Morris is F50. Well done.
But Peter, that is a Mercedes-Benz. It's a SLK.
No.
CLK.
Yes.
It's a Varam one.
It's a Varam one.
It's a GT.
Yeah.
R.
Well done, Peter.
GDR.
But I used to work for Mercedes-Benz, so
I'm gonna
Oh, okay, so yeah.
I'm gonna give you that point.
And-
This is your first legitimate point on the show ever. Well done.
Oh, jeez.
He's going to get a couple of them.
Okay, so 1.5 to half a point. Come on,
Okay.
Riaan. I'm rooting for you.
He's going to still make you win, by the way.
Yes,
No matter-
I'll make a plan. Don't
I can be
stress.
Oh, really? Okay.
I can be 6-0.
I'm terrible, of course.
You're still going to win, don't worry.
Oh, Mario's got that right. GTR CLK. Well done, but he's a flippin' Mercedes freak. He even likes Lewis Hamilton.
Really?
Oh, no. Come on. Can you not bar some viewers?
I can block people.
Yeah, I think you need to bar.
I think you should take Peter's point away just because.
Fritz said that was a steam-powered Suzuki. No, Fritz, that's not right. Okay, here's number 3.
Peter.
Riaan, I'm coming to you because I heard your voice first. Do you know what that is?
McLaren, I think.
No, it's not McLaren.
See, I'm terrible.
Okay, so Peter,
Yes, Pete?
that is a very interesting vehicle. That is a Jaguar XJ220.
Well done.
And it was actually designed by a South African, Keith Helford.
Wow.
And he studied mechanical engineering at University of Cape Town, didn't do so well in the engineering field, and then studied art
Yeah?
at the Royal College of Art in the UK and got snapped up by Jaguar and became a very, very successful designer for Jaguar.
Listen, that does not look like a Jaguar at all.
No, it doesn't.
Hey?
That's
So,
actually a very cool
that's
car.
got a very, very unique look to it. But well done. Okay, I'm going to start giving like bonus points and stuff now, Riaan. So,
Oh, my goodness.
here is number 4.
That's a lamb.
Yes, Riaan, well done. That's a Lambo. I'm giving you 2 points for that.
There we are, thank you.
That's a Lamborghini Diablo.
I want to say Diablo.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay, so now it's
Yeah,
2.5. It's all tied up. 2.5 to each of you. And here is number 5.
Honda NSX.
Yes, Riaan.
But he
Well
didn't say
done.
his name. Peter.
No, don't worry, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Well done,
Sorry,
Riaan.
Rules are
This is quite an iconic car.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
okay, but I
is.
mean, if you didn't get that right, then...
Yeah, of course. No,
Especially-
then I'll be in serious trouble.
Especially-
But I should get a bonus point for that.
So Mario says Diablo, well done, and Rita says go Leafy, well done. She's very, very proud of you.
Leafy.
Okay, so 2 to go, and Riaan's in the lead with 3.5 to 2.5.
Yeah.
Here is number 6.
Peter.
There's no way you know what that is.
That is
from
that's
that
a
picture.
Toyota. That's a Toyota Supra.
Yo.
Yo.
Okay, so it's all tied up, 3.5 each with 1 to go.
Yeah, but this is now where Fourie pulls up.
I see now. Okay,
This is it.
Okay,
There's a 10 points on this one.
Jaco, behind the scenes, will you please switch off Peter's mic now? Okay, guys, all tied up. I'm gonna let's make it rain tonight. I'm gonna be fair, and whoever takes the last one takes the last one.
Wow, this is the first.
Okay.
This is the first.
That's why it's going to rain. I'm going to get wet on my way home.
Okay, here is number 7.
Peter.
No. Riaan was. I heard Riaan.
No.
Riaan was
Okay.
first. What was that, Riaan?
I'm going to take it fly and say McLaren.
Yes.
Really?
Which one? Do you know?
No, jeez, I sell motorbikes.
Okay, so I'll tell you. It's the F1.
I'll share my point of Peter.
It's the F1. And by the way, what's interesting, Fourie, your Fourie-ness,
Yes.
is this also was designed by a South African, Gordon Murray.
Really?
Yeah. He designed Ayrton Senna's McLaren world title winning F1 car.
Really?
And as a sort of a result of that, McLaren gave him an unlimited budget to design a supercar. And that's a 3-seater, and it's got the driver's seat in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's actually just designed a newer version of that, but
Amazing.
under his own banner now.
Amazing. Okay, so that now brings us to the end, Riaan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That
Thank
was-
you, everybody.
That was like
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'll be there in a working capacity. I'm going to be filming all of this disaster.
But we're all working.
No, you're not. You're playing. I'll be filming that for Footbig Diaries, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
a great
so that brings us to the second last segment for tonight, and it's how things work. And tonight we are going to talk about something that not a lot of people are talking about these days.
Yeah, so, most people, I think, are under the impression that you don't have to run in a new car. I'm still old school. I believe that even with the latest technology, with the latest technologies and oils and tolerances and materials, there still is a lot of things on a vehicle, that you should run in.
Yeah.
And we're going to discuss it now.
So let's look at that, and this is proudly brought to you by Suzuki Auto South Africa.
Welcome to Let's Talk Automotive, and in this week's segment of How Things Work, we're going to talk about how to run in your new vehicle. Now, most people would say that a modern car doesn't really require running in, and that's because these days we have very sophisticated oils, engine materials, as well as advanced assembly techniques which allow for nice tight tolerances. Now, I'm not only convinced that we should still do a well-planned run-in of our engines, but there are other components that also need a careful run-in to ensure their longevity, and some of them may just surprise you. So let's kick off with the obvious one, that being the engine. Now, despite advanced materials and oils I spoke about, we still need to ensure that our hone marks are correctly flattened. Now, as you can see from the diagram, a new cylinder wall has crosshatches with high, sharp peaks. And these peaks don't allow the piston rings to properly mate with the cylinder wall and therefore cannot scrape away the oil. This results in a buildup of hard deposits on the wall known as glazing, and once glazing occurs, the piston rings cannot seat properly and you can expect high fuel and oil consumption as well as accelerated wear and tear on the engine moving forward. By running our engine with low to medium loads, we allow for the high hatch peaks to flatten and the rings to seat correctly. So this means that for the first 1 to 1,500 kilometers, you should only really use half throttle and not rev the engine too hard. So try to keep the revs below around 4,000 RPM. It is important though to vary the load on the engine. So long trips at a single rev range is not really a good idea. And also don't labor the engine. So rather change gears early if you start going up a hill than rely on the engine's torque to get you up that hill. And this also means no towing during the run-in, which also affects the components that I'll discuss a little later. Now, my usual advice is to replace the oil after you have run in the engine, and this is because there is a high amount of wear and tear that has taken place, and you don't want to have these particles in your oil, which further accelerates wear. Now, if your dealership doesn't agree with me and doesn't suggest changing the oil, don't stress, as modern oils are quite capable of suspending these particles until your first service. The next item that should be run in is, of course, the gearbox, especially an automatic gearbox.
The same procedure you used for your engine is just as applicable, so you're getting the job done in any case if you are running in your engine. With a manual transmission, it is important not to overstress the clutch and flywheel, and the same is true with your brakes. And for both items, we need to bed these in correctly with the correct heat cycles. This means we need to brake gently without overheating the pads until the bonding resins have cured properly. And this means that we need to do around about 20 to 30 medium brake cycles with a lot of cooling in between, and that will get the bonding agents to cure. Now, braking too hard too soon can cause glazing, or worse, cause hot spots on the discs, which wear faster than the rest of the disc and cause brake shudder. Now, after the engine and gearbox and brakes, another key component to run in is your tires. And the important thing to understand here is that the first 1,000 kilometers of wear determines how the tire will wear for the rest of its life. That means if you've been cornering hard and there is an indistinguishable amount of wear even on the shoulders, no matter how slowly you drive after that, the shoulders will always wear faster than the rest of the tread. So as you can see, there are many components that we need to consider aside from the engine when it comes to running in a new car. So taking care in the beginning will increase your chances of having less issues crop up at a later stage in the vehicle's life. So invest in a proper run-in. And I hope that you found that information on how to run in your car useful, and we look forward to seeing you on future episodes of Let's Talk Automotive.
Thank you very much, Professor Fourie. That was very, very informative, and I agree with you, especially with regards to brakes and tires.
For sure. And gearbox?
Yeah, gearbox, I hear you, I understand, but especially for me, tires, I think a lot of people then underestimate the importance of tires and brakes.
Yeah, for sure. I think what I wanted to address on this is the myth that, and we hear it in racing circles, and I mean the data is just completely contradicts this, where people say, you know, you've got to drill it from the get-go, and that's how your engine will wear into your driving style nonsense. You do a lot of damage, you create heat spots on the brakes, on your piston, on your cylinder walls. It's just not a good idea.
Agreed. All right, guys, this brings us to the final segment for tonight's show, and now we can have some fun, relax, and get into this weekend. It's Friday, after all. Okay, so let's get into fun time. So in fun time, what we do is we just take 2 or 3 or 4 of the funniest things we've seen online, and this is the first one that we saw that was quite funny this week. If by tax return you mean new car parts.
Well, let me tell you, I'm starting to think I'm going to actually start putting on the fuel that I spend on my generator during lockdown, during all the Eskom blackouts.
What is Marius talking about? Is the Bulls playing this weekend?
Finally, go Bulls. No, I don't know. He's watching the wrong program.
I don't know what he's talking about.
But that's a second.
A Bull supporter and a Mercedes Lewis Hamilton
that's
fan.
2 strikes.
What the hell? One more strike and you're out, bro. Okay, and let's look at the second clip. This was quite funny. I don't need a man. I know how to put oil in my car.
Ooh.
What do you see that's wrong with this picture?
That you're going to get into trouble tonight?
That's the wrong kind of oil. At least she's putting it in the right place.
Well, at least it's clean. I've seen worse oil.
I laughed so much when I saw that. But wait, it gets better.
Wait. Before you go on.
Yeah.
True story. My older brother pushed his car for many a kilometer.
Yes.
Because the radiator water had run out.
Okay.
It was in the old days.
Yes.
Okay. And he thought that he had to put distilled water into his radiator. So he pushed his car until he could get to a garage and then asked him for distilled water for his radiator. And they looked at him like, what the hell, dude? So it happens.
Okay, it happens. Okay, and the last one for tonight. This was just the best one. I saw the Nissan Leaf in its natural habitat.
I see you didn't have the courage to put the other video on that I sent you.
No. No, some of the stuff that you send me, we just cannot share online.
I suppose it is a family show.
It is a family show. Right, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. It was such a lacquer show. Peter's got a very special announcement.
Shout out to Sharith Mishra, who is writing his maths exam tomorrow, and he put a comment on and said, please, could we wish him good luck? So all the best.
Man. We hope that you do well.
So tell us how it went.
Yeah. Join us again next week, same time, same place. And I think we're probably going to end off this year next week. So it will be our final show for the year. We look forward to that and look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a wonderful week, guys.
Cheers, everyone.